Hello and welcome to Miniature Adventures. I'm Big Lee, and today I want to discuss table mates and how hobby brings people together. So like many of you, I enjoy a good podcast or two while I'm painting. I can't listen to them all the time if I'm doing something I really need to concentrate on, but when I'm doing painting or assembling figures and those sort of general duties, I can bung a podcast on and I really enjoy listening to them. And a couple recently have talked about how the hobby has brought different people together. With Zoom and social media, sometimes we never actually meet our gaming buddies face to face. And the soon to commence Analogue Hobbies Painting Challenge brings friends back to the paint table from nearly every corner of the globe. And it got me thinking about the power of gaming to forge the most likely of friendships and bring people together. So as usual, to illustrate this particular conversation point, I'm going to look back in my past and my early days of gaming with my friends from school. So we're going back nearly 40 years here, I hasten to admit. And we started playing D&D and then moved on to war games and board games and card games, all sorts of games. And you know what, I still play with some of those guys today. We've all scattered to the four winds, but we still have a lot in common, not least the fact that we're all Dagenamites. And the hobby has provided a shared bond, a shared history, if you like, that's kept us all together and kept us in touch, even though we've all moved far away and in some cases to other sides of the planet. And like any old friendship, we often reminisce about our glory days, but our conversations strangely include a mix of real events that we took part in and fictional ones that we encountered in our games. And to be honest, over the years the line between the two has got so blurred that sometimes it's hard to remember what ones we actually did and what we played. But there you go. And the advent of Zoom has given this group new vigour. I expect we'll be playing many games together well into our dotage now. And gaming, but of course gaming has increased my circle of friends beyond that group that I knew in school and in the years shortly after and at university. So my other gaming group, the one I'm more closely associated with, is the Rejects. I joined this already well-established group of friends in 2010. And they're a much more diverse group than my role-playing game groups, but we're all good mates around the table. We have widely different political views between the members, views literally from opposite ends of the political spectrum. So we've got Brexiteers and Remainers, left and right. All of it is represented on around that table. And we even have some tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists amongst our group. And you can imagine political conversations can get a little bit heated sometimes. But when we start rolling the dice, none of that matters anymore. And we have all shared passion for history and gaming. And when we're gaming, the laughter and the camaraderie can probably be heard by all of the neighbours, regardless of our widely different views outside of the shed of war. Because I also have a lot of friends outside of those two groups that I belong to. The interweb and the blogosphere has increased the number of people I have regular contact with enormously. Some I've met at shows, some I've yet to meet but hope to in the future, and then there's some I'm unlikely to ever meet because we live on opposite sides of the planet. I mean, once again, that group of friends is representative of widely different views and perspectives, as you'd expect, coming from such widely different places. However, I still count many of these as good friends and many more as very close acquaintances. And that being said, like me, most of them do try to keep politics and stuff out of their interactions, and we're respectful towards each other for the most part. But it's our shared love of wargaming and the gaming hobby in general that keeps us bound together. And despite our differences, we've found that common connection. So where am I going on this rather random train of thought? I've spoken before about human beings building communities and how diversity brings strength to the hobby by creating crossover links and pathways for gamers to explore other genres and other games once they're inside the bigger hobby. I described it once as being inside the city, with different zones being represented by different games. And this freedom to explore without prejudice or judgment from other gamers is more important now than ever, I think. We live in a time when, and I'm straying dangerously close to politics here, we do live in a time when culture wars, intolerance, tribalism have become normalised. And I think we need to encourage things that bring us together rather than drive us further apart. Our amazing hobby, in all its glorious geekiness, seems to do just that, or at least in my experience. So I'm not suggesting wargaming is a balm for the world's ills, far from it, but certainly it seems to be a bulwark against the worst, as for me and people that I know in the hobby. So as usual, I'm going to end by asking you about your experience of the hobby. Are your gaming buddies as varied in their views and outlook as mine? Do you, like me, find that when the game starts, our differences suddenly seem to disappear and become unimportant? So I'd love to hear from you as usual. Please join the conversation in the comments below or over on my blog, Big Lee's Miniature Adventures. And if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and share. And if you want to keep up to date with weekly content from this channel, please tap the bell notification icon. So until next week, as always, stay safe, keep gaming, and of course, keep rolling high.